So Winston Churchill said near the end of World War II, never let a good crisis go to waste. While in New Zealand for some business was going really well, think real estate, others are certainly battling, say in the case of tourism. Irrespective of where you sit in this continuum, you need to be reviewing your organisation and making sure that you find the positive opportunities within this crisis. Today I'd like to use an example to cover off 4 key principles when thinking about this. The principles are organisational alignment, ensure strategic capability and choices are aligned. Secondly, co-creation. How do you make sure you involve a broad group of subject matter experts within your organisation? Third, staffing follows structure. Examine the needs and then align talent. And then fourth, cost savings. How do you make sure you resource strategic work while at the same time reducing less strategic activities? Now, I'm currently working within a technology organisation, and the lessons learnt there are a worthwhile reinforcement of the above for everyone. So number 1, organisational alignment. This organisation was busy, but were they focusing on the right things to ensure best use of capital? First up, we had to ensure they had a clear strategy for this environment. What would differentiate them in the marketplace, and did they have the capabilities to support this strategy? We then needed to make sure that not just structure, but all their organisational systems aligned to this. Think work processes, structure and governance, information metrics, people rewards, continuous improvement, and leadership and culture. Without getting that organisational alignment, particularly within the leadership, focused on how do they make sure everything is aligned to drive the strategy, and then what choices needed to be made, there was a real risk they'd waste an exciting opportunity within the marketplace. So second point, co-creation. People support and embrace what they help create. Thus, involving a broad group of leaders and subject matter experts in organisational alignment effort is crucial. Given the opportunities and challenges this business was facing, we took the chance to assemble a broad team of internal, strategic-minded subject matter experts that understood the organisation's inner workings. Key was not just limiting the group to the senior executives, as we wanted others in the room to bring new perspectives, ideas and strengths to the table, not to mention a real desire to challenge the senior leaders in the thinking that had got us to this point. During a crisis, day-to-day work can feel frenetic, inconsistent and busy, but this organisation knew that to exploit potential future opportunities, they had to free up the right people to focus on these types of strategic initiatives. It's too easy for this work to kind of get pushed down and pushed to the wayside when leaders are forced to focus on busy, urgent work, the deadline-driven projects and daily tasks that leave little time for strategic planning. By taking this time to collaborate on this critical long-term initiative with a range of experts in the room, this organisation was able to chart a clear course for the future. At the same time, it also ensured that these key influencers across the business knew the why and had been part of the process in creating the desired outcome, which is critical from a change management perspective. Structure first. In good times and bad, organisations should plan their ideal design and then determine what talent is needed. Unfortunately, too many organisations do just the opposite. They attempt to fit people into positions that they just don't need, or that those people just don't unfortunately deliver the necessary results. And then for this organisation to deliver on what was defined as their future aspiration, it needed to think about what type of talent did it need for the future. And in some instances, unfortunately, this was different to the talent that had got the business to its current point. However, it is also important to remember that changing people could fundamentally alter an organisation's operations and could even have unintended consequences such as disrupting customer delivery. By freeing up the right time and using the right people, this organisation was able to effectively review how organisational change would impact its operations. And then the last point, resource up versus cost out. Well, in fact, you can actually do both. In the case of this organisation, we were able to find cost savings through resourcing the strategic work while reducing the less strategic activities. During a major disruption like COVID, it's important to assess areas of non-strategic work for possible reductions, while at the same time ensuring that you preserve and protect your organisation's key objectives. For example, during COVID-19, Apple has closed storefronts around the world, but what the tech company didn't stop, and certainly hasn't stopped, is their product design and launches. Apple continues to focus on what matters most strategically to its long-term sustainability, and that is product design. The organisation that we've been referring to did exactly the same thing. They reduced unnecessary areas while also being very clear around what are those critical areas, particularly in customer services and operations and delivery, that we're going to need a real key laser-like focus. All those people in the room when we were doing our design sessions agreed that cutting across the board to maintain a sense of fairness would just weaken the overall organisation. hopefully these tips were useful. If you'd like to know more and discuss it any further, then my contact details are on the website. Thanks a lot.